Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
So, I was on the flood famous, all of you who have been loyal listeners have at least heard of the legendary Facebook group UAL.
Shout out to the UAL, though.
Urban Anime Lounge. They had a Mount Rushmore of white rappers, Eminem, Mac Miller, and two people that I didn't know.
Oh, there were white rappers on the list that you weren't aware of?
Let me look up their names.
It's not Yellow Wolf.
Was not on there.
Oh, that's Paul Wall, and is that Russ?
Russ, yeah. They said a lot of people were like, y'all need to put like Lil Dicky on there and everything like that.
I feel like Russ is good. If we got Russ up there.
Like, I commented, I'm like, look, I know they would take 3 of the 4 spots, but can we put some love on the Beastie Boys name? And that motherfucker got like 20 heart reacts, and other people in the comments were like, the Beastie Boys, and I'm like, I'm so glad the Beastie Boys legit get their love.
Oh my god. If you don't get your 1993 loving ass, I'm so glad you sound like one of the Jewish dude in the barbershop scene and Coming to America. I'm so glad the Beastie Boys get their love.
Wiggle. His mother named him Captain.
You know what? Nobody talks about DJ AM anymore, okay? Like
he says his name is Muhammad Ali, so I will call him Muhammad Ali.
There were a couple of crazy kids from Brooklyn, and they liked rap music, and they were doing their thing. You know, they were representing without appropriating, and I feel like people should respect that, okay?
Yeah, and they did it without Sleep Until Brooklyn. With no sabotage! But all they really want was girls. Their impact was intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
I feel like Russ gets a lot of hate because he's pretty like self-aggrandizing. Like he knows he's good, and he doesn't let people forget it. Like I don't know. It's almost Kanye-esque. Right, and that's hard to say now because Kanye
I need to put this in perspective.
Can I finish my thought, though? Like, Kanye keeps out-Kanyeing himself. Go ahead.
This was shared by MGK saying, why wasn't I on here?
Man, who gives a... Because... Nigga, I saw somebody give him half-ass credit for standing his own in a battle against Eminem that he started, and I'm like...
Oh! This sounds familiar.
Like, what? What? That shit backfired so bad he switched genres. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what people were saying. Like, didn't you, like, move to rock?
Not saying that he can't be versatile, but I also saw MGK listed on of white rappers who switched lanes after a while, along with Post Malone and Kid Rock. Right?
Yep. All right, so let's ask this question. Besides
Wahlberg.
Mac Miller and Eminem, who are obviously on it, who's the other two on the white rapper Mount Rushmore?
Well, I just said Paul Wall, respectively, like, because there will be no Paul Wall slander here. First of all,
I don't know enough. I'm just saying.
How do you not know enough about
Mac
Paul
Miller?
Wall?
I just know for sure Mac Miller and Eminem would be on there.
That's crazy, dog. That's disrespectful. But you know what? I expect nothing less from a Boston boy. You lyrical miracle ass niggas need to get out of here. That's the whole reason the South did the fucking
vibration. Got me every time.
That's the whole reason why the Southern invasion happened in the first fucking place, right? And that's the whole reason why the South got they foot on fucking hip hop neck right now, right? New York niggas been struggling. They had to borrow drill music from Chicago in order to get a fucking leg up. And now, luckily, Buffalo came out of fucking nowhere and brought some heat back to the fucking the cold city, the cold streets of New York.
Griselda.
Shout out to Griselda for single-handedly bringing coke rap back. Good God.
And creepy ass beats.
And drumless beats. No, fuck that. Drumless beats. The fucking South put 808, hit 808 so goddamn hard. New York went drumless.
God, I hate the overuse of 808.
No, you don't.
I really
No, you
do.
don't. Shut up. You listen to punk music. Like, everything is distorted in that world. Your
everything is unmastered.
Are perpetually blown. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me about 808.
They're not blown. That's how it's supposed to sound.
Do not talk to me about the overuse of hi-hats. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how unmastered every hi-hat is.
Like, look, just because 8 out of 10 songs I listen to have this beat doesn't mean that it's trash.
Yo, listen. All I'm saying is there will be no Paul Wall slander here.
So, who's the last one then?
Russ? You haven't heard of Russ either? Dude, I'm telling you.
Are you saying you're not putting, like, Mike D up there as, like, to represent for the 3?
Oh, I thought we were discussing the ones that were listed on the white rapper Mount Rushmore.
Do you have a problem with those 4 being the 4?
I mean, as far as, like, representation goes, there are other white rappers that I've heard that I like Ritz. If anybody from the UAL is listening, you know, I don't feel like anybody would have an argument against Ritz. And, you know, he's a big... Action Bronson, right? Like, but then there are people who will push back against that and say he's a Ghostface clone, right? So... And then, yeah, we're not even talking about, like, battle rappers, right? Like, there's pretty tight white battle rappers out there, like...
Someone busts through the door right now and says, D-N-word!
Get the fuck... Who the fuck do you know what that is coming through?
I know somebody who's actually a really big D-Word fan.
Wow. You know, well, I mean, I would expect nothing less from you fucking crust punks and shit.
Shout out to Gigi Allen.
No shout out to Gigi Allen. No shout outs to Kanye. The level of people we are refusing to give shout outs to is rising up and crashing through. Like the market's waiting on the tariffs to drop. You don't gotta worry about it. It's Doc
and Ziggy
with the flood. Your favorite weekly pop culture digest discussing the news happening around you and how it shapes the culture that defines you with our pop perspective.
To put the culture in context and make the mainstream make sense, because if we don't make sense, we don't make dollars. Also, make sure to keep your death threats to 280 characters or less.
Especially if you're gonna subscribe, because you gotta subscribe to get the death threats through, or else we're not gonna see it. But shout out to our patrons.
Enraged Peacock.
Hey, I see you, Slater.
I see you, Slater. I see you, like intensive care unit.
Slater, like
intensive care unit, Slater.
Where the death threats say we're gonna be.
Thunder Knight. Ryo and Andrew Raymer.
Shout out to Andrew Raymer.
Alright, so what's on the docket, dude, Doc?
And you know how we like to get down around here. We got all kinds of shit to talk about this week. We got, you know, more examples of the MAGA cats being snowflakes. And of course, you know, we got to talk about Trump's terrible weekend at the Pope's funeral. And while we're talking about the MAGA crowd, I really want to get into this new trend of dissecting the MAGA makeup look that everybody's talking about.
But if we're really going to talk about dissecting trends, I think the first thing we need to do...
And since we're going to be talking about the Pope's funeral, you know we have to talk about Sinners, because your boys actually went and saw that one.
Together.
And speaking of Sinners, we got to go over the latest Shannon Sharpe allegations.
Oh, yes, we do.
Amongst all kinds of other hot topics this week. But you know how we like to do around here, and that's by
abusing the algorithm to get as many listeners trapped as possible. And this week's hit on the algorithm is...
It's gotta be Cousins, dog. Oh my god. And speaking of cousins, no, actually, not speaking about my cousins, but the song Cousins. I have not heard this one, but it is all the buzz this week, and I'm sure it is abusing the algorithm.
Pause! We were going to listen, and then Doc told me what the song is about, and we decided
Where do you be? Fam, do we
I
both
just
be
saw
on
the
the
tweet.
internet?
I did not listen to the
Do we
song.
both? I mean, I haven't listened to the song either. I have no desire to really listen to any of Kanye's
Exactly. I
music
have
at
no
this
desire
point.
to listen to Kanye.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was what the song was about.
What? How did you not know that that's what the song was about? He said that in the tweet. He said that in the tweet. Man, listen. At what point do we talk about trauma farming? Right? Like, there's aura farming, and I feel like the opposite of aura farming has got to be trauma farming,
I think
right?
Kanye
Like,
is just continuously trying to find the most third rail.
Jesus. There's a...
Like, as soon as
There's a joke
Elon
there.
was like, I'm gonna do the Nazi salute, Kanye was like, alright, this isn't far enough. I have to also now be a Nazi pedophile.
Not just a Nazi pedophile, not a Nazi pedophile, but a Nazi porn addict molestation victim, right? Like, so,
and abuser?
and an abuser and misogynist, right? Because while also admitting that he used to suck his cousin's dick, which, you know, jokes aside, trauma farming. I'm gonna call it trauma farming here because it's fucking Kanye West. Fuck you. At this point, go get therapy instead of sitting in a fucking circle of people
in therapy
who paid to be around you and listen to you rant about how you should have married Paris Hilton instead of her assistant, right? Like, wow, that's where we're at. Kanye, goddamn, you used to be a genius.
Kanye is so vapid that Kim Kardashian got fed up with him.
Kanye is really Howard Hughes maxing at this point. And I would not be assumed if he is surrounded by jars of his own pee, not because he thinks people are collecting his DNA, but because he likes the aroma and he thinks, like, how far off do you think Kanye is from them self-help nuts that drink their own piss?
Alright, so Kanye is clearly the leader of Crash Out of the Year so far.
Is that a crash out? Admitting that you used to suck your cousin's dick?
I mean, I guess Kanye is continuously crashing out for the past 8 years.
I mean, did you see the track list for fucking, is this Bully? The track list
Was
for
it in
Bully?
all caps?
No, I forget what this one.
I feel like it would be in all
I don't
caps.
think this is on Bully. There's another album that he dropped that I don't know the title of, but it had tracks like Bill Cosby, Free Diddy, Nitrous, Cousins.
A Mask Off cover?
No, the cover was actually two fucking Klansmen embracing each other.
Oh, no, I meant like he did a cover of Mask Off because he took the mask off.
No.
Nazi
What I'm
and
telling
shit.
you is your reference is on, like, kind of on the nose, except for, like, polarized, because it was actually mask on. Mask on mean clan mask. Clan hood.
Oh, Future would never.
Yeah, no. Speaking of Future, there was Young Thug is out on the scene again. Young Thug is, out post-trial and dropping all kinds of new heat. Money on Money dropped the other night at like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't ask me how I know, just know that I know. And that shit, gotta tell you, if we're talking about where my algorithm is at, that's where my streams have been. I'm just in rotation. That Money on Money, and oh my god. Oh, you want, hold on. Nope, pause it. We gonna pause it for this. You wanna hear something? I'm gonna let you hear how Future moonwalked on this bitch. But as you just heard, as he usually does, Future Hendrick came through and slid through all that bitch, right? Like,
I mean,
let him know
Future.
what it was, right? Let him know that King Slime is home.
You know Future
Future
has
did.
slapped a woman and gotten away with
Future
it.
did. Wow.
You know he has.
Wow, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. All right, Andrew Schultz, that's the kind of takes we're taking.
Drake has to.
You think? I mean, who was it that was saying? Oh, it was DJ Vlad that was saying he's heard some things from people that he knows that work in like law enforcement and shit like that. There's some stuff that went down at that Calabasas compound. Do we want to call it a compound? I don't know. It was like 6 houses on his property over there.
I mean, Shannon Sharpe thinks he has that kind of impunity.
Man, who had it's a fallout, right? And like it's a run-in between Trump, Kanye, and Shannon Sharpe right now on who's having the worst fallout this week, right? Like, goddamn, man. Goddamn.
I don't know. ESPN might be taking the biggest L out of this.
I was gonna say, do you want to elaborate, like, what is going on with Shannon Sharpe?
Shannon Sharpe has since been accused of sexual assault to a very extreme degree. Turns out the infamous Instagram Live was not with the girl who was accusing him.
No, yeah.
And the reason
that
she is
narrative was
accusing
crazy.
him is because she found out Shannon was cheating on her because of the Instagram Live.
Is that the narrative that's being pushed?
That is one of them.
That she is now coming forward with this accusation as like revenge for finding out that Shannon was cheating on her.
That is one of the theories
That's
floating around.
Crazy work. That's crazy work. I mean, the fact that this Jane Doe also has the same lawyer that the woman who was trying to sue Jay-Z had, crazy work.
Also representing a wide range of Diddy clients. That's a weird sentence to say, but it's accurate.
And it's like, I don't know why you need an ambulance chaser lawyer to go after Diddy, because like
This is a trauma chaser.
Trauma farming. No, not good. When I made the Bill Cosby joke earlier, it was a joke because it was, the old narrative is that Bill Cosby was gonna buy NBC and then he got accused of, and then they dropped the deal.
What year was this?
This 89, somewhere around there.
All right, continue.
It's old barbershop talk, right? But like, this will be one of those things because yes, Shannon was about to make this huge deal and now this happens, right? And it is a civil suit. And as Jay-Z put it, like, if I'm doing something that the allegation is that heinous and that serious, why are we not taking me to a criminal case? Right? Like, why are we pursuing retribution through monetary and financial means?
Because
I don't, like, in what world do you sue, you sexually assault a person and they're like, you know what would make me feel better? All of your money.
No, apparently the woman is not old enough to be a consenting adult and have the statute of limitations run out.
So now not only are we accusing Shannon, so we're saying it's, pedo shit, right?
No, I'm saying she's very young.
Yeah, so when it would have had happened...
It's, like, legal, but very young.
So Drake shit. Pedo-ish, pedo-light.
Yeah, pedo adjacent.
Is it pedo adjacent? At what age is... And then I'm not trying to put you in a DJ academic situation. What's your cutoff? Now,
They have to at least be able to legally drink. At least. At least.
I think that's fair enough, right? Like, at a certain age, at my age of 35, right? Like, I would feel goofy as shit trying to talk to a fucking 19-year-old. That's wild.
I couldn't fucking believe it. Like,
Yeah.
they have to, early 20-year-olds. I'm like, that's a big age gap.
Like me? Like what interest do you have in, like, are we trying to put me on Dateline?
Like right now, I'm pretty much in like a 5-year span. Like,
yeah, 5 on the either side.
Yeah, like they gotta either
5 on
they
the other
gotta be
side
like 26 to 38 is where I'm at, and I think that's reasonable considering I'm 32.
You wouldn't hit like a hot 63?
I mean, is it Angela Bassett?
I mean...
Is it Reba McEntire?
You hitting Reba McEntire?
Absolutely! You are too, and you know it!
Yeah, because Reba got leftovers in the freezer, so she's serving them shits up after you beat it down good. Beat it down good was crazy. I want to rephrase that. After you deliver your excellent services, I'm sure she would reward you kindly. Toss a coin to your witcher, if you will.
So what country themed activity do you imagine Reba McEntire doing? Besides, like, honestly, we all think of her like holding a guitar as like Taylor Swift, but a real musician.
Let me tell you that you keep saying things in a way that make me think you're gonna go left with the direction of this conversation, and then you throw me for a loop every time. But the entire time you were talking just now, I kept thinking to myself, I bet you Reba McEntire make a mean peach cobbler. Right.
So you're thinking her as a baker, not like someone riding a tractor or riding a horse.
I am sure somewhere the one potential female listener we had just now was like, oh, so he see this successful businesswoman in the kitchen cooking. Huh? For him, that's what he thinks. Like, yeah. No, actually I did. When you said Southern activity, it just made me think, like, and I watched Reba. Right?
Yeah, I like the Reba show too. That's how I got introduced to the guy from Shameless.
William H. Macy?
No, the Van from Shameless was in Reba.
Okay.
I would say I would expect Reba on a ranch. I feel like Reba loves horses.
Yeah, I could see that too.
I feel like that's the country kind that Reba is.
Yep. No, I don't doubt that either. You know, they said, I saw an article that says SZA wants to make 4 more albums. 3 of them she wants to be like children's music, and then she wants to retire and start a ranch where she grows, a farm where she grows food for homeless people. And I was like, you know what?
That somehow sounds very on brand for SZA.
That's very noble of her.
And sounds very on brand for somebody who legitimately dressed like a bug for over a year.
Oh, man.
On Hot Ones, at the Super Bowl, bug.
Look at that. Where are you going to get that kind of variety? What other podcast brings that to you in such a digestible way, right?
Also, that's the type of shit that ends up in the National Museum of African American History and Culture.
I mean, Shannon Sharpe would probably still end up in the National African American Museum of Art, History, and Culture, Donald, despite some people's best efforts. But we'll get more into that after this
break! Alright, so we just watched a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going like full Naruto ninjutsu style.
What run of the fucking... I gotta figure out what run of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that is. Because there's almost as many runs of TMNT as there is Scooby-Doo. Like, I feel like there's so many different versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out there. But
alright, so here's one that I want to mention. This is my top rope. I had a title shift planned. This might be a title shift. I don't know. We can decide that after. But what IPs are worth redoing every generation, a la TMNT.
I mean, I feel like...
And Scooby-Doo is another one.
Scooby-Doo's a good one. I mean, The Simpsons hasn't even had to be redone.
They've just kept going.
It is like the sitcom, right? Like,
I think the Rugrats we've proven is not a good example.
No, first of all, I still argue that Rugrats All Grown Up was good. That is how you could do a continuation.
All right, well, let me say right off the bat, Hey Arnold doesn't work with smartphones. I don't think.
I don't know. I feel like Hey Arnold could be a lot crazier with smartphones, especially like if you take the perspective of what Arnold was in, 4th or 5th grade.
I feel like
right?
you can just have them solve a lot of the mysteries with like a Google search, though.
I mean, it's not even about solving mysteries. It's about being a child in the inner city, right? Living the kind of low-income life that Arnold was exposed to. Right? Like, they were telling all kinds of crazy stories, man. Like, Helga's dad was a straight up gambling addict. Her mom was an alcoholic, right? Like, Arnold was living in what would be tenement housing, right? Like, how do you tell that story now when there's no fucking tenement housing? Rent is crazy. Arnold's grandparents would have had to have sold that shit by now. Right? Like, yeah, tell that story.
All right, here's another question that we can double up on this
we
with.
have to sell
What are some
the
franchises they
apartment?
keep trying to reboot that they shouldn't? And why is one of them G.I. Joe?
They really did. They tried hard with G.I. Joe, didn't they?
Like, they know, it was like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Dope. We get that.
I mean, didn't they try to do a live-action Powerpuff Girls and that shit never made it?
Yeah, it definitely did not make
Never
it.
made
We
it.
covered that, actually.
Yeah,
And the disaster piece that it was supposed to be.
they keep trying to redo Firefest, but that shit ain't happening either. Let's see, what is another franchise that they keep trying to reboot?
So, like, Alvin and the Chipmunks seems to always get a generational reboot.
I mean, but the 90s run, like, I guess I should say 80s to 90s run of Alvin and the Chipmunks slapped. And, what was that Alvin and the Chipmunks 3D animated show that Nickelodeon did? That one wasn't bad either. I'm not a fan of the live action movies, though. I hated those. I hate those so much. It just felt like that time where it really felt like that era of kids movies to me feels like when Hollywood was trying to see if we would fall for AI scripts, right? Like, cause they're just such that, like, those movies are like fucking 90-minute billboards the entire time. It's like, hey, go stream this album, go buy this thing. Like, and I guess, I don't know, there are people who are listening that will say, that's all kids movies have ever been. Do you see all the product placement in E.T.? And like, yeah, I get it, right? Like, the product placement has been prevalent in movies, but there is a certain level of artistry to balancing that I felt like 80s consumerism had that 2010s consumerism just didn't even like try to have.
Okay.
Or modern consumerism doesn't even try to have.
So here's an obvious example that for some reason it's like so obvious I didn't think about it at first.
Until I started yapping.
No, but Batman. Batman.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's why I don't necessarily mind the superhero bubble, because it is giving us a chance to explore and finally fall in love with new superheroes other than the big three, right? Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, right? Like, now we've got Iron Man and Black Panther as contenders, right? And then, but DC just can't find their footing with trying to get, I mean, we had Shazam, then that dude fucked it up, right? People
well, the
really
Matt
like
Reeves Batman sequel is in production, I think.
Matt Reeves' Batman was really good, and I like seeing Batman.
Incredible movie.
I like seeing Batman scaled down and doing more detective shit. Like, Christopher Nolan like broke the blockbuster Batman scale.
People are like, it's a superhero. I'm like, let's be honest, that's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, and unless we go like, damn.
Would you say that it's more of a Christian Nolan movie before it's a superhero movie?
I would say it's more of a blockbuster than it is a superhero. It is like, unless we take it back to like the Joel Schumacher run of Batman, which I feel like it's arguable on whether Joel Schumacher's Batman or Tim Burton's Batman was more influential to that being such a staple for DC when it comes to...
Definitely Tim Burton's Batman.
I mean, bat nipples, dog.
Clooney would tell you the same thing. If anything, George Clooney would be an influence on what not to do with Batman.
But I feel like DC has had a really hard time making other characters pop the way Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman pop. And I mean, Gal Gadot tried her damnedest to kill Wonder Woman, right?
Well, I mean, you're right. Like,
About
there
Gal
are people
Gadot.
who know other DC heroes like Flash and shit like that. Like, Marvel's marketing and handling of the Avengers, like, any random Joe Schmo on the street can name 5 Avengers, but they can name at most 2, generously, 5 DC characters.
I think if you... Okay, now, I feel like the DC fans are screaming right now because they're like, TV shows, animation, right? Like, DC has obviously had way better TV shows and way better animation, right?
Yeah.
Like, Marvel, you know, had the Netflix run, and there's argument to be made.
Whoa!
There's-
X-Men Evolution was hype.
There's argument... That was peak Y2K attitude. Right? Nah, fam. But there's argument to be made for the DC shows, right? Like, you would be hard pressed to say WandaVision wasn't great.
Batman animated series. Oh, you're talking about the Marvel show.
Well, yeah, I'm saying compared to DC shows, right?
Like, the first run were great. Like, Loki and WandaVision are phenomenal.
Yeah, but I mean, the Flash, Black Lightning, Green Arrow series.
The Arrowverse.
Yeah, like, everybody loves those shows, right? And then that's not even talking about, like, Justice League, right? Teen Titans. We won't talk about Teen Titans Go. But... And we won't talk about... But people actually seem to like the live-action run of the Teen Titans that DC did, right? So,
Young Justice is phenomenal.
So...
Have you seen the meme of...
I know.
It's just the screenshot of Robin holding back the double flying knees, ready to go into somebody, and they're just like, Robin was about that life.
Every time, Robin was always about the smoke. So as far as rebooting Batman goes, though, I think you can't go wrong with it. But yeah, I would like to see them try to do more.
Here's another franchise that I think makes sense to reboot every generation, and they seemingly have. Avatar. Not the blue people.
I think it's time to stop trying to do video game live action adaptations for a little while. The CGI is in a weird place. The writing is in a weird place right now, and I feel like
there are exceptions. Last of Us.
Well, yeah, that is really good. And the God of War, I'm waiting to see what Fallout, right?
And Fallout.
So maybe I'm wrong.
No, the exceptions prove the rule.
Yeah, I was gonna, but maybe we are in a new era of video game adaptations, right? Where they finally will solve. Well, then there was that horrible Borderlands movie.
The Super Mario Brothers movie. That movie was super fun.
I mean, people really like the Minecraft movie.
Do they like it, or do they like...
Or do they like memifying it?
Yeah.
Who knows? I can tell you...
Realistic looking pig block people is jarring.
I feel like that is a good way to describe Elon Musk. Somebody who
A
doesn't
realistic
like
pig block person?
Yeah, who doesn't like being memeified. I guess thought being memeified would be better than what it is, because now guess what? He wants to weave politics because
He has become Doge.
he has become
Subject of laughs.
subject of bullying. You guys bully.
You cannot bully the richest man alive.
You guys have bullied this man out of politics. It has been rumored online that Elon is growing wearisome and tired of all of the constant protest and vandalization and defamation and humiliation. Elon doesn't like the humiliation for sure. I think he much rather would have worn a dress on Saturday Night Live than done this.
Man, he hosted Saturday Night Live less than 2 years ago, too.
And it's probably not helping his brood farming that he's doing at the moment. You know, there's rumors around the mill that he
How many kids? Let's check FanDuel for the over-under.
He is hosting, like, not seminars, but, like, pop-up conventions.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
It's crazy, man. It's a crazy time to be alive, right? We're living at a time where the U.S. president was received with somber attitudes and silence at the Pope's funeral, whereas Zelensky was greeted at like a rock star, some articles would say, to
the
almost
only world leader.
Standing
Did you see
ovation.
the very jarring pictures of Trump and Zelensky talking in St. Peter's Basilica?
Yeah, once again, eye to eye in those chairs. Like, it's just...
And the way Zelensky, like, walked back, and he was just like... And he was next to Britain's prime minister, and they were like, how did it go? And he was like, it was very, very productive. And then Trump goes on to Truth, and he's just like, huh... Doesn't seem like Putin really wants to stop this war. Oh, gee, really? 30 minutes talking to somebody who's directly involved, face to face, with no other people bullshitting you, might make you realize what the fuck is going on?
It's a lot. It's a lot, man.
Like, Zelensky, I think, might be the most revered human being on Earth right now. Only second, maybe, to Jamie Foxx.
I saw a video of them saying that Macron walked right past Trump and didn't shake his hand, and, you know, walked right up to Zelensky and shook his hand instead, insisted on shaking Zelensky's hand instead of Trump's. I saw the video, and
that would
I
make
could
sense. France is petty.
How you could make that assumption. I'm sure French media will say that that's not the way it went. Mike Myers is saying, no, fuck Elon Musk, this shit is ridiculous, America is not for sale. And I think, you know, that it's great to see the world stand up in defiance to what seems to be a moment of American hysteria, Ameristeria, right? And that's no offense to women with uteruses, right? Like,
That's not offense to women. Got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you know, you know. The moment of, like, collective delusion that
Okay,
the country...
so women that haven't had cancer. Got it.
I mean, you know, hysteria comes from the term where they used to just say women.
Yeah,
were
I was
going
just
crazy
taking a few seconds to process what you said well, I mean, you know.
I know. I think you wanted. No, I think you just wanted me to elaborate that the term hysteria comes from how they used to just lock women up in the loony bin like once a month because, you know, periods make women crazy.
Well, actually, I was disassociating while you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Thinking about the other thing.
I think that's also pretty obvious if you've listened to the pod for long enough. We're in the third quarter here.
Oh, look, a squirrel! I saw a comedian who said, I think ADHD is fake, and that there are just a lot more squirrel enthusiasts than people like to admit.
I mean, that sounds quite similar to RFK Jr.'s take on autism, right? Where he's just like, hey, I've never seen an autistic adult before, and I don't know, maybe these kids just need some sunshine.
There are definitely people that have autism with, like, none of the drawbacks and all of the superpowers.
You mean high functioning? You're talking about high functioning autistics, right? Like,
yeah, the ones that have none of the drawbacks and all of the superpowers.
at this point, I'm wondering if RFK Jr. himself is autistic, and there are people who have autistic family and friends that are like, that's not fair. Don't do that to autistic people. But
I bet LeBron James is autistic with how well he can read a defense.
Well, everybody's autistic now, according to Zoomers and Boomers. It's funny to me.
From what I've noticed in comedy, it's like the, oh shit, this isn't going well, let me yell that I'm autistic. But I've heard so many comedians just like blurt out, oh yeah, so I'm autistic? And I'm like, oh, is that just like the cheat code when things aren't going well? You just claim you're autistic now?
No, I'm so mad about this, bro. Like, first of all, there's two things going on here, right? Like, the demonization of people with autism is absolutely disgusting, kind of the same way the United States government is making, like, 2-year-olds fucking defend themselves in court, in immigration court, with no fucking lawyer, right? Like, we're literally out here trying to fucking put autistic people on farms, and we're deporting 2-year-olds without due process.
Have fun in
right?
El Salvador!
Yeah, man, it's fucking wild out here, right? But also, low-key though, like, it's just the new way to say you're retarded. Like, it's really just the new way to say you're retarded, because you can't.
It's just a way to say the hard R without saying the hard R.
Language adapts. Language adapts. No, come on, get your David Attenborough. All right,
trust me, I understand. As a comm graduate, I get it.
Like, we can't say retarded.
We live in the world of spin.
We can't say retarded anymore, right? Everybody knows OCD is like a real thing that you shouldn't joke about. So, like, yeah. Autism, because everybody's got a couple of tics, right?
Spin City. Overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Spin City?
Yeah, the Michael J. Fox sitcom.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
He works as an aide in the New York City mayor's office. And it's called Spin City because the mayor fucks up all the time.
Holy shit.
This is before Michael J. Fox went all not retarded.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, I'm calling a spade.
But I also know Michael J. Fox has a sense of humor, and he would probably laugh at me saying great value retarded.
I'm gonna call a spade here, which is also offensive if you know, you know. But I can say that.
I learned that!
Yeah, it's just people calling themselves retarded in a socially acceptable way. Yeah, I'm calling it. And if y'all don't watch out, RFK Jr. is gonna put y'all asses on farms, so stop telling people you autistic.
Alright, let's just also be honest here. Retarded is more fun to say than autistic.
I don't know. I might be with the youth them here.
Saying autistic is a more fun word to say than retarded?
Listen. Saying you're autistic is really quirky, right? It's like, it's more like, oh, you know, I got some things with me, but I'm also pretty talented in some ways. Saying you're retarded just makes people...
You automatically get the sympathy vote, though. However, as Robert Downey Jr. said, Future Dan, just put the drop.
About what? You're serious? You don't know? Everybody knows you never go full retard.
What do you mean?
Check it out. Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man, look retarded, act retarded, not retarded. Count 2 picks, cheated cards. Autistic, show, not retarded. You got Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. Slow, yes, retarded, maybe, braces on his legs, but he charmed the pants off next to him and he won a ping pong competition. That ain't retarded. He was a goddamn war hero. Right. You know any retarded war heroes? You went full retard, man. Never go full retard. You don't buy that? Ask Sean Penn, 2001, I am Sam. Remember? Went full retard. Went home empty-handed.
Never go full retarded. How about, instead of never go full retarded, never go full RFK? You can go... I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. would suggest you ever go full RDJ. But better to go full RDJ than full RFK Jr.
I actually asked some other black people about Tropic Thunder, and I was like, look, this is the analysis my co-host gave me. That was hilarious. Never do it again. And they're pretty much like, yeah, that's pretty much where we land.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
That was hilarious. Never do it again.
I also like the segment idea. I asked black people. Hey, black people. So Robert Downey Jr. is blackface. Hey, black people. Can I wear a do-rag? Should I?
Hey, black people.
Hey, black people. So does sinners mean you guys accept Irish people, or are we still bad guys? Because Sinners was great. If you don't know,
I have definitely practiced my crip walk and accidentally gone into a river step afterwards.
every time you bring up crip walking, I just hear Fat Joe in the back of my head going, even Lil Bow Wow throwing it up. B2K crip walking like that's what's up. It's not cool. These punk niggas even made gang signs commercial. No,
Hey, we can skank, which is really
we
just
can skank. This nigga said we can skank. All our white listeners will probably know what skanking is. But
absolutely.
for the cookout folk, would you please explain what skanking is?
Skanking? Skanking is basically like a basic but elaborated two-step.
Are you gonna stand up to demonstrate it on mic?
Yes. So, like, you throw your... Like, if you throw your left leg out, you throw your right arm out, and then you reverse, and you do it in, like, a kicking motion.
So kind of like, who was that? Linus that used to bust it down like that in the Peanuts?
No, I mean, you mean the one that would, like pick up his legs and, like, tilt his head?
I mean, no, not that one. There was another one that
I'm sure there was
like,
a Peanut
shuffle
that
his
skanked.
shoulders and, like, kicked his feet out.
But yeah, like, the skank is a classic punk rock dance. And normally it's done in a circle pit.
Classic punk rock is a phrase that I bet you if you Googled it would be like brand new sentence.
You would certainly get some Google image searches of CBGBs, I'm sure.
Let's talk Sinners. Oh my goodness, phenomenal film. As of the current moment, I believe it is sitting at somewhere around, I don't know, it did what, 60 million last weekend and it did 45 million this weekend.
So it is officially broken profit.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I remember seeing, I think the profit was $90 million.
Yeah, it did better its opening weekend than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did. Yet for some reason, people are still trying not to give Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan the credit that they deserve as filmmakers with this original film idea. You know, a story about, and spoiler alerts, so maybe, you know, go listen to previous episodes. We just did a gold rush run on Backlog. A story of two mobster twins in the deep south of Mississippi, right? Was it? Yeah.
Former Chicago gangsters.
Right, opened a juke joint, right?
Juke jump!
And it's invaded by vampires. And everybody is doing their best to come up with their think pieces and their theories after what was a phenomenally shot movie. First of all, first and foremost, shout out
Beautiful film.
to the gang and them. Everybody associated with the film, but you know,
The dancing scene in the juke joint when the place went and lit on fire was such an amazing scene.
The cinematography was absolutely, shout out to everybody associated with the way this movie was shot. It was just beautiful to watch from beginning to end. The set design, the costumes, right? Like,
What was the name of the actor who played the musician?
no, come on, Bing is, we're good.
Future Dan, you decide whether or not you want to, like, edit this part out or just keep it in, because it's really funny to see how frustrated he gets having to switch search engines.
Why they got Haley Williams looking like that? They couldn't have used her, like, a different photo for her. Why is Miles Canton? First of all, they got this baby face ass picture of Miles Canton up.
Well, hold on. Let's
Google,
say why.
dog.
The reason Miles Canton has such a baby-faced picture is because this is his first major film debut.
I mean, that's fair, but you can't tell me they couldn't have pulled. Okay, there you go. Look, I click on the actor, and they got a grown-ass picture of him. It's so wild that he is, like, up amongst all these other folk, these grown-ass folk in this movie, and he looked like a young-ass baby. Anyway, right? I mean, Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, damn, I am not going to try and pronounce her last name, but y'all remember her from Lovecraft Country, right? Omar Benson Miller, Delroy Lindo, right? The cast was just stacked, and Saul Williams, I feel like this perfectly casted.
There was one thing
shot.
about the cast that you actually made note of, and I think you forgot, that you mentioned to me as we were leaving the theater. This cast felt like it should have had Jonathan Majors.
I kept watching the movie, and I felt like, now, I've seen interviews since to rebuttal this fact, but I really feel like the reason they were twins was because it was supposed to be Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, and then, he ran so far from that lady on the street that Brian Coogler was like, I ran so far away. Ryan Coogler was like the sun, and I could not get away from the white woman. Ryan Coogler was like, listen, dog, I already got a funny deal with this movie. I don't know if you've heard about the deal that he's got with this movie, right? But there was no way.
Your friend Jonathan's got a weird case. Why is he around?
Yeah, there was no way he was going to let that fuck it up. So they was like, what Michael B. Jordan was like, what if they was twins? And I could just do both. And then I win an Oscar for playing twins. And Ryan Coogler was like, you know what, dog?
That might get me the Oscar for Best Director, too. So let's do this.
After all this time, let's flex on Hollywood. And whoo, boy, did they flex on Hollywood. Because not only has it blown past its budget, right? Rumor has it is the deal behind this movie.
Rumor has it
is after, 20-something years, I think, all of the profits of the movie go back to Ryan Coogler or something. All the ownership.
Oh, that's like a Bobby Bonilla type.
All the ownership
deal right there.
Yeah. So it's like, he about to be cooking, right? Like they cooking good over here. They cooking like Annie was, right? Good Lord. And that kind of cooking, that'll build generational wealth.
All right.
And
so we were talking about the movie, and I think we agreed that the ultimate villain of the movie was England.
I disagreed, right? And I was having a hard time trying to really hone in on what.
Because why was Remington mad? Because England took his shit.
I think I was having a hard time trying to hone in on who exactly Ryan Coogler was trying to put in the seat of the antagonist, right? And I think what the villain really was in this movie, if I could be all, put my studious glasses on real quick and make an assumption, it's the crabs in the bucket mentality, right? Like, Ryan Coogler has, since the movie dropped, been doing press junkets where he has spoken out and said that, the vampires represent temptation and the movie's about the human condition and wanting to find that freedom, and sometimes we find that freedom in temptation, and it can lead us astray, or it can lead us to a lifestyle that may be toxic to us or different from the one we were brought up under. It really was about like how people find freedom in little moments like love and family and camaraderie.
Or beating a white woman in the face like Jonathan Majors.
Or music. No, we don't find... God damn. We don't... God. Or music, right? Like this movie was a huge homage, huge love letter to music. I mean, and the connection to spirituality, right? How music is the engine that carries culture across generations, right? how powerful it is. How
dancing is fun.
Dancing is fun. Creating music is just, it's cathartic to the spirit, right? And
you know what is really leading?
It's unifying.
You know, of course it is. Do you want to know how I know?
How?
Because in One Piece,
Joy
Boy, and the drums of liberation.
Right? And I mean, Delroy Lindo's character, Delta Slim, says to Miles Canton's character, Preacher Boy, right? They gave us Christianity. The music, we brought that with us, right? Like, and it's the same thing.
And we stole it.
I was gonna say, it's the same thing Remix says to Preacher Boy in the end, spoiler alert, right? Like, the same people that taught me that him were the same people that took my land from me, right? Like, once again, echoing on Delta Slim's message earlier that, like, you know, the religion was something like that's not even as deep as the music is, right?
Mm-hmm. The religion came after the music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The roots, if you know, you know, go way deeper with music than any religion can. I just think it was beautiful. And I love the fan service at the end, and yes, I'm gonna call it fan service. Smoke taking out all the clan members that had planned to rob the juke joint the next morning. Cause that was...
I turned to you in the theater and I said, people talk about fucking with a World War II vet. They ain't even worry about fucking with a World War I vet.
Yeah, I mean, that was pure. Also, I feel like, you know, that was a little homage to Tarantino and spaghetti western violence right there. Cause, like, yeah, that scene alone gave me Inglourious Bastard vibes.
You know what I love about Tarantino? For Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he wrote 5 full episodes of Gunsmoke, or whatever the fuck. He wrote 5 full episodes.
I fuck with it.
Even though he used it for maybe 30 seconds in the film.
I heard this was Miles Canton's first time playing a guitar, and he learned how to play it in 6 weeks or 6 months, something like that.
I remember hearing 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months, something like that. Somewhere in between 6 weeks and 6 months, right? In order to play Preacher Boy in this movie. I couldn't tell. He was a beginner. It was great, man. It was a fun time. Between this and Novocaine and what was the other one? Passengers. I'm hearing great things about independent films, and it just feels like...
I think this is also the first movie you and I have seen together.
Possibly? Maybe. Don't make it sound like that. It sounded weird.
I feel like it was either that or you and I went in a big group to see something.
I don't know. I can't remember now.
Because I see a lot of movies at this point by myself.
We're in the fourth.
I'm taking the bullet here, not you.
I mean, I did that with Spider-Man, right?
I did that with Super Mario. Yeah. How do you think I felt? And I did it at Marley Station.
That's not a good look with you and the Hisoka tattoo. Yeah. You want to play a game? Oh man. Yeah, no, definitely don't sleep on this joint. As I said, I still have to see a couple of the others. Anora is just still making waves. I don't know if we talked about it or not, but that shit took home like 5 Oscars. So
you see that they passed a rule that people who vote on the Oscars now have to see every movie?
Yeah. Can we talk about why wasn't that already?
Why was that not already a thing, right?
Why is that not already a thing? That's almost as ironic as the acting director of Homeland Security getting her purse stolen. Except for, oh wait, that actually happened. That actually.
Well, all right, let's tackle these two. Let's tackle these one at a time. The Oscars. Like, how are they gonna prove that somebody watched the movie? Are they gonna be like leave them a quiz?
I feel like people on the Oscar voting council have to, what I remember correctly, because Mero talked about this, because he got on the committee for, like, I don't remember if it was for the Oscars voting council or something like that, but you have to, like, register to do it. And then they send you movies that are in the slot, and I feel like you should have to, instead of just voting whether you liked it or not, like, you should have to give, like, a brief summary of what the fucking movie was and what your opinions on it were.
And
Like,
they have to have a very stringent AI detector.
yeah, like, yeah, no plagiarism, have a plagiarism detector so you can't just copy some movie critic's review of this shit. Like, you should probably have to give, like, a visual audio response to the movie.
I'm sure there's an AI bot that gives generated Roger Ebert reviews on new movies.
Oh, absolutely. That AI bot has been in existence since DVD cover, or since VHS covers. Like, what do you mean? Random Boston Tribune movie theater goer says, "This is the greatest movie since Star Wars. This blows the Titanic out of the water." Yeah. Roger Ebert says, "This movie..." I saw a thing that says they will literally cut clips of different parts of a sentence in the review and then string that together on your DVD cover box, right? So it's like, Roger Ebert says, "This movie was fantastic," when what he really said was, "Leaving this movie was fantastic."
Sorry, I just got pictures of my nephew becoming an Eagle Scout.
Oh, that's cute. We love that here. Love the early
I
indoctrination.
would have been in attendance at the ceremony, but I have very much strong commitment to this podcast.
No, definitely don't sleep on Sinners. I still haven't seen Anora yet. I want to see it because the description of it kind of reminds me of True Romance. It's about
A great Brad Pitt film.
which he is in for all of like fucking 5 minutes.
Great Brad Pitt film.
It is a great movie though. Also may or may not be Quentin Tarantino's first written production. I mean, I don't know much about, or I don't remember like much about the Oscars. It was fucking back in almost
Nobody
at the
slapped
beginning
someone.
of the month.
You know,
So,
what's to remember?
But Kristi Noem getting her purse stolen, like.
Bow, 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 bow.
In the same weekend that Jack Doherty gets robbed, like, that's just crazy. Like, to be in the same company as a failed
Jack
streamer.
Dorsey?
Doherty. Failed
Doherty.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Jack Doherty?
Man, where are you at? Failed streamer, right? Don't don't even, you're actually
I
not.
was about to say,
missing
Jack
it.
Dorsey definitely made out with a bag.
No, we're not talking about Jack Doherty. We're not, or not Jack Dorsey. We're talking about Jack Doherty.
Easily confused.
No, I don't know how you could easily confuse those two, but that's because I guess you're not as chronically. I keep proving that I'm more chronically online than you, which somehow befuddles me.
I read a lot of The Atlantic.
I read The Atlantic too. I read The Independent. I read the Boston. It's like, no, I haven't read the Boston Tribune in a while. There has been no reason for me to sign up for that for a month. I mean, I'm surprised you don't have any more takes on fucking Kristi Noem getting her purse stolen, dog. While she out here,
I mean, like she's the national intelligence person.
she's the head of Homeland Security.
She can't even defend a restaurant.
While she is out here taking glam shots in front of deportees.
I mean, Pete Hegseth is having a legit makeup studio installed in the Pentagon.
I'm just saying, you out on the tarmac with all these illegals that you sending out of the country, and you not keeping track of your purse. I'm surprised Kristi Noem don't just wear cargo pants. Like, I mean, isn't this the same woman that shot her dog because it wasn't a good hunting dog? What are we gonna do, Kristi? What are we gonna do if you can't defend your purse? The dog couldn't hunt.
And dogs will hunt.
Larry David couldn't write better irony.
That's because Larry David doesn't write. He tells them what to do and lets them cook.
That's because Larry David is too busy cooking on Bill Maher. Did you see that? My dinner with the Fuhrer, right? After Bill Maher talked about going to dinner with Donald Trump, Larry David wrote an op-ed, a satirical op-ed, the likes of Thomas Swift's, my nigga, like, called My Dinner with the Fuhrer, where he wrote in the fictional perspective of a Jew getting to go to dinner with the Fuhrer and how, like, he was actually much nicer in person and a lot funnier than he thought he would be. Yeah, nah, man. It was pretty scathing, right? And Bill Maher didn't take too kindly to it. He was rather disappointed. He was like...
Bill Maher doesn't take too kindly to many things.
He went on Piers Morgan's little fireside talk chat thing and was like, you know, I thought me and Larry were friends, but then he pulled the Hitler card on me. And
you know what I like about Piers Morgan? He's a douche that admits when he's been caught.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised.
I wouldn't say admits when he's wrong. I would just say admits when he's caught.
I was surprised you found something to like about Piers Morgan, because every time I'm forced to watch something with Piers Morgan in it because it has
Neil deGrasse Tyson ripping him a new one?
You didn't. The last time it was fucking Hassan going off on him while he was on his show, right?
Oh yeah.
But like, dude, it just... Piers Morgan is a fucking tool, and Bill Maher has just continued to position himself in the tool shed.
I really wonder where Bill Maher's actual fan base is.
At this point, I'm trying to figure out who it is too. I feel like it's guys who like Howard Stern, but sometimes voted Democrat. You know what I mean? Like,
it's gotta be like an age demographic of like 45 to 55.
I feel like we said the same thing just now. Like, they probably voted Democrat in the big election and like Republican in local elections, right?
And they listened to
Howard Stern a lot.
No, they listened to Machiavelli. The album, not the writer.
I know what you meant. I was gonna say if they listen to rap music at all, it's probably
looking at the world through my rear view. Praying to God, he won't hear you.
It's probably Cypress Hill and Beastie Boys.
Don't put that on the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I'm putting that on the Beastie Boys. Sorry.
Put that on the people that listen, not on the Beastie Boys themselves.
That's what I was doing, but it's the truth. Like, if they listen to rap at all, it's like Cypress Hill and the Beastie Boys.
And Tech Nine.
Maybe.
Definitely Eminem. They love the Marshall Mathers LP.
The Great White Hope. More like the Great White Coat,
sorry, dear
baby.
mama. I never meant to hurt you.
Great White Coat, baby.
I never meant to make you cry, except for all of those songs that I say how bad of a mother you are.
You know, it's ironic. It's not really ironic.
Shout out Alanis Morissette.
Trump's 100-day approval rating report has come in, and guess what?
They are tanking.
Trump is making history once again, baby. He is only compared to himself in the amount of records he can beat. That's right, you heard it first. Trump has broken his own record for worst approval rating in the first 100 days. That's it, baby, coming out of the gate with a smooth, what was it, 47%? 44% to his previous 55% approval rate in first 100 days. That's it, baby. I'm telling you, are you tired of winning yet? Cause we winning big time over here, dog. Don't you hear him? Every day, Beijing calling, Vietnam calling, Japan calling. Kissing my ass, dog. What do you mean? They can't handle it. Elon can't handle the smoke. Me, I was built in the grill, baby. That's why I like my steak well done.
Built in the grill. I'm born in it.
Well done. I'm from Hell's Kitchen, baby. They don't make them like they used to. They don't make them like Donnie no more. The fuck out of here. What do you mean? Whose stock market? My stock market. I stop the tariffs when I want, not when China wants.
In our tri-weekly work meeting, I actually made a joke to everybody that I'm thankful that my 401k is so new that it probably doesn't even have Tesla in it.
It's so funny, dude, because Xi Jinping is like, nah, I'm not fucking backing down just because you got cold feet. I'm keeping it up. It's all the way up. And Donna's like,
all the way up.
they calling me every day. They saying, Donnie, can you do something with us? And I'm like, I don't know. You gotta make it sweet for me, baby.
Hey, Donnie One, can you do something for me? Donnie One, can you do something for me?
Yeah. And I'm just out there like, no, you gotta make it good for the American people. I'm fighting for y'all. Not to correct my mistakes, not because this totally backfired and blew up in a way that it was historic or anything like that. No, it's all called.
Whose legal blowback was worse, Trump or Drake's?
I mean, Drake got the access to Kendrick Lamar's contract, right? Like, we talked about that. The developments from that have not come forward yet. It was pretty immediate, the impact that was felt from the idea of that stupid ass tariff chart that this nigga brought out. It was
if
like,
you zoom in, you can see it.
Numbers are magic. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but a report came out that said most Republican voters don't really believe in science as a concept. Google it, do your own research. It's out there for y'all to read.
Great, I'm gonna do my own research on the amount of people that don't do their own research.
You take it how you want to believe. I mean, I just don't have the article right up here in front of me. And it's the fourth quarter, so I'm not doing all that work. But
time for the refs to call yellow flags for Pat Mahomes.
It's also not something I have a hard time believing because, I mean, niggas don't even believe in climate change despite the fact that we keep living through record-breaking. Are you tired of winning yet, baby? The whole globe is on fire. It's hot. It's hot in here. You fucking stupid. It's heating up. I seen reports that the shit is heating up in Iran, right? Ukraine just iced a fucking Russian general in front of everybody in broad daylight. They Luigi Mangione that nigga, right? They try and give Luigi Mangione the death penalty. He living in spooky times.
Well, let me just say that I was watching some MSNBC coverage because that's what my YouTube algorithm decided to feed me. And I have noticed that they have two of their own Tucker Carlsons.
NBC?
Yeah, MSNBC. Two of their, own smarmy guys. One of them is, your debate club nerd with the glasses. And then the other one is, straight Anderson Cooper, who tries to think he's Hugh Jackman. And they're both very let me talk for 10 minutes straight. And I'm gonna feed you some quaint platitudes that make you feel like you're smart for listening to me.
Speaking of quaint platitudes that'll make you feel smart for listening, you want to do a bit of trite, petty political drama? Did you hear how everybody is, speaking of fashion, right? We were talking about a little bit of fashion takes. Did you hear how everybody is roasting Donald for wearing blue to the Pope's funeral when everybody is wearing black?
And I looked at the picture and I'm like, I feel honestly, I feel like they're really just picking on him because I definitely saw some pictures and I'm like, there's a bunch of blue suits in the back.
Do you? Because I'm looking at a bunch of pictures now and I see maybe some charcoal suits. I see charcoal. I see, some different variations of black, right? But Donald is very...
I feel like Donald at this point...
Donnie Boy stands out, man.
I feel like Donnie at this point would have embraced the full Diddy tuxedo.
What do you mean the Diddy tuxedo?
Black tie, black shirt.
I'm sorry, when you say Diddy tuxedo, I think I felt immediately I imagined just full oiled up Donald walking into the Vatican in his birthday suit as God intended.
No, I'm thinking the black tie, black shirt, black vest, black jacket.
Got you. I mean, if you're the Teflon Don, right? Why do something corny like show up in white to somebody else's wedding, right?
If he showed up to the wedding, to the funeral in white.
That's what he should have done. Fuck that blue suit. If you are going to do something as petty as step outside of what is considered norm and tradition, right? Because we're America, we do things differently, right? You're the second coming. You dodged a bullet, Donnie. You didn't just dodge a bullet, you took that shit to the fucking dome like a goddamn G, and you came back from COVID.
Is it
right? You
better
know,
or
the
worse
Pope
than
died,
Holyfield?
Donald didn't. You're not hearing me, Ziggy. The Pope died, Donnie lived. They took shots at your man. You supposed to show up to his funeral in all white. Let everybody know what the fuck it is. America is back, baby.
Tupac did that in the Life Goes On video.
America's back. And you niggas
Has Tupac
need to
ever
recognize.
referenced Donald in a song?
You know what should have been? You know what he should have done? Showed up in white and then dropped new tariffs on everybody.
And announced it with a mixtape cover.
At the Vatican when they're like
him like kneeling in front of St. Peter's.
when they're like, now everybody's gonna say their piece and say the word about dearly departed, and Don goes up and says, you know what I had to say about Pope Francis? He was weak. I'm dropping new tariffs
His
on all
clothes,
you.
wet. His hair, wet. The way he walk around, wet. The way he cares about people in disadvantaged situations, whack.
The way he
that
cares about
appeals to
gays,
the LGBTQ community, whack.
You know me? I'm tight as fuck. America's back, baby. New tariffs on all you hoes. I won't let my foot up. I'm keeping that shit on all y'all necks. World War III for life. That's how he should have done. And walked out that bitch oiled up to the gods. They wouldn't have handled it. They wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Oh my god, I feel like Trump is just waiting because he hates New York, right? Trump hates the state of New York. Can we say this?
I mean, yeah, they look at
I feel like he's just gonna let New York go through all of the political money draining of convicting Diddy and then just pardon him.
You think he's gonna wait, let them drag that case out,
Yep.
and then be like, you know what, actually, I like the freak-offs.
Yep.
I
You're
didn't
gonna be
stay
like,
long.
I had a good time in a few of them.
I didn't stay long. But I've seen some
Absolutely,
things.
Donald Trump went to a free
freak-off.
freak-off.
First of all, I'm not gonna hold you. If I was at the freak-off and I saw Donald Trump there, I immediately, despite the amazing time I might have been having, right? Not saying that I was participating in Diddy activities, because not everybody at the freak-off is doing sexual predator shit, right? Some people is just
Or
there to enjoy
wallflowers. They're just like,
themselves.
I like watching.
Some people are there to enjoy themselves. But if I turned around and I saw Donnie getting all oiled up and greased up to the gods, I would be like, you know what? It's time to go home.
1997.
That's what made Marlon Wayans leave, right? He turned around and said, "It's 4:45. What is Donald Trump doing here? Okay, I gotta go home. I gotta go."
That's basically Marlon's story of being at a Diddy freak-off.
Party, yeah. He saw Donald Trump was still there at fucking almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Was it actually, or was it just like this wild shit's going on too long?
No, that's me. That's me joking. But Marlon would probably agree that if you see Donald Trump out past 3 o'clock in the morning, you should probably
I
go.
absolutely believe Donald Trump being at a Diddy freak-off. And I think that would be hilarious. And of course, in this timeline, for Trump to let the entire trial go through, and then just for him to be like, didn't that judge tell me on Twitter to fuck off once?
Hey,
Pardon.
stranger things have happened, right? We are currently existing in a timeline. One of the top players in the NBA is white. Kanye West is a Nazi.
No. the best player in the NBA is white.
Kanye West is a Nazi. The president is a reality TV star that grabs him by the pussy. None of this is normal.
None of this is normal, but what should be normal is buying all of your Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic the Gathering supplies and games at tokenmtg.com. And if you have a hankering for board games, they have those too. And give a shout out to our Patreons and Ray Peacock,
AC Slater,
Thunder Knight, Ryo, and Andrew Raymond.
Shout out to the guys over at Straight No Chase. When you're done listening to this pod, go ahead over there on IG and check them out. If you are in the area, make sure you check out the guys over at Mobtown Comedy in the Baltimore area over at The Manor. Make sure you follow us at the Flood Pod on everything.
And that is on everything.
And
Deuces!
Anybody else? Deuces!
Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about black stuff?